Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. I hope you're all well. Wanted to come on this fine evening, just out getting a little bit of a walk, and we've got an issue, a major issue for Monday. Monday, we're going to get, and it's already begun, a market crash. That's pretty inevitable, I think. It's already happening as we speak. Crypto is being affected mostly, XRP and Bitcoin and everything else. The main stock market did sell off after hours as we expected. You may remember I went live and warned of this. It did exactly what we expected to happen, and it has. The market is probably going to drop quite significantly on Monday. So how to prepare for this? I thought it would be worthwhile just coming on and discussing how we might prepare for Monday morning. Well, at the moment, we've got crypto moving because it obviously operates 24 hours a day. We don't have that with the stock market. But Monday morning, pre-market, I'm sure we're going to get extreme volatility. Part of the reason, obviously, is because of tariffs. Now, most of the tariffs were priced in. However, like as always, the markets will always overreact. They'll always do more than necessary. And that's basically what's happening now. So we're going to get a lot of volatility into the first week. Now, it's very important to understand that tariffs are not, for long-term investors, an inflationary action. It appears that way at first, and the initial reaction will be inflationary. But if you're a long-term investor, when it all pans out in about 2 quarters, and it'll take that long, it'll actually work out okay. So if you are in crypto right now, it's a very dangerous place to be, because we're going to get extreme volatility. Don't be surprised if we get those 50% drops, which we talked about. Remember, we told you it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. No question about it. It's happening right now. It's starting to pick up pace. If you're a long-term investor, it's not a major concern because these are not inflationary points, but they will look inflationary for the next couple of months while it all digests. It takes a lot of time for everything to go through the system, all the taxes to be collected. Now, let's be absolutely clear. Donald Trump has put these tariffs in place. They don't benefit anyone. Essentially, what's going to happen is it's going to be passed on to all of us, the consumer. Our prices are going to go up and inflation could go up in the short term, not the long term. So what are we going to do about it? How do we play the market? Well, hopefully you heard the live stream on Friday night and you took your profits from crypto. I hope everybody did that. I put it out there. I went live and said it's going to go down after hours. Well, we've seen it. It has happened. So hopefully you've taken your profit. If you haven't taken your profit and you're still in and you're starting to lose money or it's going down, if you bought a long time ago when we first bought XRP, then it won't matter to you because you're at 38 cents and you won't care. I would suggest you not do anything because the markets always overreact. They could pick up again very quickly and you'll miss it both ends. You'll be chasing it on the way down and you'll be chasing it on the way up. So I would suggest you don't actually do anything. However, if you're mainly in stocks like I am, for me, as you know, I've got $260,000 in. I'm using a lot of margin. I am in, but I stopped buying weeks ago because I predicted this was going to happen. Most of the tariffs were priced in, so there shouldn't be this overreaction. But of course, there always is with the stock market. You're always going to get an overreaction, which is what we've got. It mainly presents opportunity for people to be able to buy back lower and then pump the market again. For me, as a long-term investor, I know in a couple of months this will all level itself out and it won't be a major problem. So I'm going to let it drop. Now, for me, I've got a 50% buffer on a margin call. The market could go down about 30%. The reason why 30%, because it would double because of margin. So for me, it's about 50%. But as you get closer, the margin starts widening just the way it works if you use a low risk margin position like the S&P. So the market would have to go down a long way for me to get a margin call. That's not going to happen. And if it starts falling on the way down over 20%, I'll buy some more, and that will pad out my margin. Even though I'm increasing it, it will pad it out by buying at a much lower price. So for me, I'm not going to do anything. Now, you might argue, why don't I sell everything? $260,000. Why not sell everything and try and get it back lower? The problem with that strategy is no one knows what the bottom is, and no one knows when it's going to turn back up again. Because ultimately, we have to remember this, as long-term investors, the markets are good, CPI is good, GDP is good, 75 to 80% of the businesses in the S&P are reporting of beaten earnings. Everything is looking good. But this is a short-term reaction to what Donald Trump has done with tariffs. I've no idea the benefits. I've studied it all day today, and I cannot see any benefit at all. It all comes down to a sort of personal war about fentanyl. Quite honestly, I don't know why that is a focus. I understand a lot of people have died taking fentanyl, but you don't ban all medicines because people take drugs and overdose, do you? It doesn't make any sense to me, and then start a trade war on that. I don't know why he's done it. I don't see the sense of it, and the only people that are going to pay for this now is us. So if you are a crypto investor, I'll just repeat, because I've got to go back home again now. I just wanted to come out for a quick walk and just update everybody. If you are a crypto investor right now, if you bought XRP when we did around the 38 cents, don't worry about it. It can fall 50% and you can buy more. That's one way of looking at it. If you bought at the top and it's gone down like it already has, I wouldn't sell it necessarily, because depending on your position, if you're leveraged, of course, then you could get short, you could get margin called, and a lot of people will, which will then accelerate, of course, the sell-off. So you have to understand your management there, your risk management. Are you all in on margin? If you are in stocks, yes, there's going to be maybe a 10-20% drop. For me, that I expected that, I budgeted for that, I planned for that. So all of this isn't going to bother me at all. I would say right now the best thing to be in is the S&P 500. If it drops, I mean, the S&P 500 through VU is getting the biggest inflows right now. It's the most popular asset to buy. So I'm not surprised there. I've been sort of saying this now for nearly 18 months. I don't see this as a long-term issue. I think it'll all go away. It'll take a few months to sort itself out, though. It's not a short-term thing. Short-term volatility is there. It's why I've been saying for the longest time that no real point buying the S&P at these levels anymore. Buying it lower is fine, but moving into defensives, Coca-Cola, J&J, that's what I've been doing. As you know, excuse me, that is all I've got on my Roth IRA. You know, that's what I'm fully in on my Roth IRA. So I say what I do what I say, and every position I've got and every video I've ever put out is supporting all of this. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It was partly priced in, but now the markets are overreacting because they thought it wouldn't come until March, which should come as some encouragement. The fact that is, it was already priced in, but they wasn't expecting it so soon. So they dropped the market, nothing's really changed, then it could come back up again. So it's worth being cautious. It's worth understanding what's going on, but also you don't want to react dramatically and run out and sell everything or run out and buy things. I think really the conclusion is, my final thoughts are on this. If you bought crypto low and you're up 100+%, don't worry about, or hundreds of percent up, don't worry about it, let it ride, because you can't time the market. This is way too difficult, way too complex to work out the levels. You cannot assess this on a chart. No chart is going to tell you when to buy back in here. Absolutely not. So this is all macro conditions you have no control over. So it's best to do nothing. The only winners would be the brokerages and the exchanges, will make money every time you trade. I would sit it out. If you bought it right at the top and you are in margin and you've got some high risk there, If it does go a bit lower and it gains momentum, more people will be margin called, and then it will plummet because more people will be forced to sell and cover their positions, or not, in the case, or whatever the case may be. So only get out if you really feel that it has to drop a little bit, and then you be margin called. If you're in stocks, it's already too late to sell. I wouldn't do anything there. I'd just sit and wait. The only real play, which is what I'm going to be doing, is buying the S&P if it goes lower. That's really it. But it has to go lower by about 15 to 20% before I start doing that. And then in a few months' time, we'll look back on this and go, what the hell was that all about? But I just thought I'd come on tonight to alert everybody. Sensei is going to be live tomorrow on his chart show. I'm sure he's going to have lots to say about this. If you like my hoodie here, this is martynlucasshop.com. You can get the Union flag of the United Kingdom connected to the America with the microphone in between with the crest. Just quick couple of comments. I like the new hoodies. Yeah, they're cool, aren't they? Really cool. How about that? Really cool. Yeah, really good quality. Very inexpensive for what it is. These are embroidered as well, by the way. They're not transfers. This is actually embroidered, so it's really nice. Anyway, let's have a look at quick questions. On a run, Martin. Just going out for a walk. Just want to alert everybody. Hi Zach8, how you doing? Ryan Taylor. Hi Mr. Lucas. It's a pretty smart fellow. Follow the comments. Follow the comments. I didn't get a chance to see all the comments tonight. Thank you, Martin. Kimberly, you nicely looks good in white too. It does. I just got my New Year mug. Very nice indeed. Sitting outside in Florida. Okay, I've got to go. Thank you guys. Just don't panic. Only take evasive action if you bought in with margin in crypto. Everything else is fine. Would recommend being the S&P 500. Buy on a dip. It's going to be short term, but expect volatility. And again, look back at all the videos. My story has been consistent. I do what I say what I do. This is exactly as anticipated, exactly as planned for. It's happening. Be careful out there. It's difficult to navigate, and no chart, nothing Sensei will say tomorrow night I believe can prepare you for what's about to occur. It can't do, because this has nothing to do with charts. This is purely macro, and there's no way to measure it or gauge it. Have a wonderful evening. I'll be back live with you if there's anything urgent to tell you. Make sure that you've rung the bell, subscribed, and tap a like button to these live streams. I appreciate it. All right, guys, take care of yourselves and each other.